Alright, what's up, wrestling fans? Happy Friday night. Brian here. Welcome back to the channel. Real quickly, I'm going to be doing 2-in-1 recap for both TNA's No Surrender and Friday Night Smackdown because I did watch both of them. So I'm just going to give a brief recap of what happened on both shows. So I'm going to start with No Surrender for TNA Wrestling. On the countdown to TNA's No Surrender, we saw Sinner and Saint, Judas Icarus and Travis Williams defeat TW3 and Brad Attitude when Icarus and Williams pinned, I believe it was TW3, to win that matchup. There was a backstage segment that set up a match for later on in the show involving Action Mike Jackson and Mance Warner. There was supposed to be a match between Alan Angels and Ryan Nemeth, but that would be interrupted before the matchup started by Frankie Kazarian. And after a brief back and forth with Alan Angels, this led to a match between the two that saw Frankie Kazarian win with the crossface chicken wing over Alan Angels. Jody Threat won a #1 Contenders Knockouts Battle Royal to become the new #1 contender for the TNA Knockouts World Title. There was a backstage interview involving Leon Slater, the X Division Champion, and Mike Santana, the TNA World Champion, ahead of their big tag team main event against Nick Nemeth and Eddie Edwards. And before I move on, they kept building up. They kept informing fans that and reminding fans of the little stipulation that was added to that big tag match, and that is that if one of the three guys that were in that match decided to cash in their path to the World Championship during that match, that the tag match would be thrown out and there would be a one-on-one match for the world title. What they meant when they said that was that since Leon Slater is the X Division Champion, he could exercise option C and cash in for a world title match. Nick Nemeth has the Call Your Shot gauntlet. He could call his shot anytime. Eddie Edwards has the Feast or Fired case with the world title shot in it, so he could cash in at any time as well. So Mike Santana literally would have to keep his head on a swivel, because would have to have his head on a swivel because all three guys could cash in at any time during that match, during the main event. Now, I thought about it when I saw that and I heard those stipulations. Wouldn't it be funny and wouldn't it have been creative if, let's say, Leon Slater decided during that match to cash in his X Division title shot, his X Division Championship for a world title match, and then let's say that Nick Nemeth decided, hey, I want in on this. I'm going to call my shot right now with my Call Your Shot gauntlet. And then Eddie Edwards decided, you know what? Let's make it a fatal four-way. Let's make it a four-way match. I'm cashing in my briefcase for a world title shot. I think that would have been something creatively that could have been pulled off real good if all three guys decided to cash in their shot at the World Championship. I think it could happen. Maybe. That'd be something a creative idea right there. Then we had Trey Miguel. He captured the TNA International Championship against Channing Stacks Lorenzo. Mance Warner defeated Action Mike Jackson. Afterwards, he would get into the face of AJ Francis, who decided to come out to sit on commentary. There was a backstage segment involving Stacks and Ariana Grace, where Ariana Grace basically said that since Stacks didn't keep his title. If she doesn't win the Knockouts World title, she was gonna break up with him. The Elegance brand are still the TNA Knockouts Tag Team Champions, as they defeated and successfully retained against Indy Hartwell and Zaya Brookside. Afterwards, Mickie James, the TNA Hall of Famer, she would come out and go after Ash by Elegance, who apparently has been disrespecting the TNA Knockout Legends on social media. Eric Young defeated BDE with the pile driver. BDE, I'm telling you right now, he's been very impressive, and I thought he was going to win, but it is what it is. But mad respect to BDE for giving it his all against Eric Young. There was a backstage segment to set up a match for this Thursday night on Impact between Jody Threat and Tessa Blanchard, because Jody Threat won the Battle Royal earlier on in the night, and she last eliminated Tessa Blanchard to win the Battle Royal. So that was pretty much it for that. We have a new TNA Knockouts World Champion in NXT's Ariana Grace, and I am really getting freaking upset with this whole garbage of we're taking one title off of an NXT person and putting it back on a TNA person. Well, guess what? We're gonna take your TNA Knockouts World title off of the TNA somebody from TNA, and we're gonna put it on an NXT competitor. It's like, no. Let TNA have their belts and let them, not have to lose them every time after they just won back their TNA International Championship. Then they lose later on in the show. They lose the TNA Knockouts World title. So, in my opinion, it's stupid. I'm sorry to say it, but it's stupid that, we gave you guys what you want. You wanted a TNA title back on your roster. Well, guess what? We're gonna trade one for the other. Then we saw Order 4 defeat the Righteous and the Hardys in 8-man tag team action when Mustafa Ali pinned Matt Hardy. Then after that match, Elijah would come out with a guitar-shaped casket, or guitar case casket, and tried to put Mustafa Ali in it. This Thursday night on Impact, there's going to be a guitar case casket match between Elijah and Mustafa Ali. There was a backstage segment with Santino and Daria Ray, where she pretty much told Santino that the same thing she's been telling him, you can't separate family from business, and if you try to lay a finger on me, that I'll have you terminated it like that. I'm whatever. And then in the main event, Leon Slater picked up the win over Nick Nemeth in the tag team main event after hitting the Swanton Splash in a match that broke down. Steve Macklin, who got the fired briefcase, he attacked Mike Santana. They wound up brawling through the crowd. Then the System got involved, and here comes Moose to take out the System and Eddie Edwards. And then in the end, it was Leon Slater pinning Nick Nemeth, as I mentioned, with the Swanton Splash. So that was pretty much for TNA's No Surrender event. And then moving on to Smackdown, which real quickly, nothing really exciting happened. We saw Cody Rhodes winning the triple threat match against Jacob Fatu and Sami Zayn to qualify for the Elimination Chamber. Jade Cargill retained her women's title against Jordan Grace. Um, the women's tag team title match ended in a no contest with Rhea Ripley and Io Sky and Lash Legend and Nia Jax. And then Alexa Bliss, she qualified for the women's elimination chamber match. There was a lot of backstage segments. The matches that were announced for next week were 2 more qualifying matches, one for the women and one for the men. The women's one will consist of Charlotte Flair, Nia Jax, and Kiana James in a triple threat match, and then Carmelo Hayes, Damian Priest, and Trick Williams in the other one. That's going to be happening next week on SmackDown. They also announced that Monday night on Raw, there's going to be 2 more chamber qualifiers. One is going to be Asuka versus Bayley versus Natalya for the women's, and then for the men's, it's going to be Javon Evans, Dominic Mysterio, and Gunther in the other one. Those 2 matches are going to be taking place this Monday night on Raw. So yeah, like I said, there was really nothing really about SmackDown. There was a couple good matches, but overall, both shows had something that was different. I preferred the TNA No Surrender event, just because. But both, like I said, both shows had something that really that stood out. So with that in mind, to wrap up this video, my overall thoughts on both shows. SmackDown I really liked. No Surrender I liked a little bit better. That's my thoughts on that. So with that in mind, this has been my SmackDown and TNA's No Surrender recap. As always, I am Brian, and I will see you next time.